It was a sunny afternoon, and I was having the time of my life on my in-laws' ranch. The ranch is 5,000 hectares wide and a known tourist attraction in town. It was my first time here, and my husband did not lie when he said that the view and scenery here are breathtaking. My husband's family comes from a very wealthy generation. It is very evident in their way of life, ancestral houses, and even in their traditions. Compared to where I came from, I am fortunate to be accepted into this prestigious and elite family, and to be loved by my husband is such a nice feeling. On top of that, I cannot wait to give the family another child, as I am already expecting a baby by the end of the year. Andrea, it is so lovely to see you here. Your presence is such a delight. A genuine smile formed as I heard my mother-in-law's compliments. She is radiant and lovely, especially when she knows I am pregnant. It's so lovely to see you as well, Mom. You look wonderful. She instructed the maids to assist me in a insulting way. Hey, can you do your job correctly and give Madame Andrea a comfy chair? Will you allow her to sit on a wooden couch? Can't you see that she's pregnant and carrying the heir of this family? Oh, I just hate being surrounded by idiots. I was taken aback by what she said, but the maids are already used to this treatment. Mom, it's okay. I'm okay. I'm fine. No need to bother. No, I insist. I only want what's best for you and my future grandson. I paused for a moment. Grandson? I'm still in my first trimester. It is impossible to know the gender of the baby this early. Does this mean that she's expecting a boy? Does she want a grandson? Afterwards, the maids came and prepared the cushioned couch beside me. They even bought a blanket, pillow, and portable air cooler. Thank you so much. I smiled at them, and the maids were shy at my gesture. Good. Go away now, go away. And make yourself useful in the kitchens. Cook her the very best lemon cake. She shooshed them away like a cat. I felt bad for them. They don't deserve that kind of treatment. I can firmly testify to their hard work and efforts in making things on the ranch much easier. So, how are you? Is the baby being good to you? My mother-in-law brought me back to reality as she asked me that question. Yes, Mom. The pregnancy has been so smooth and accessible in the meantime. She smiled and held my hand. I confess she is intimidating even though she's friendly and kind. That's great to hear. Please tell me anything, okay? I will give it to you because I want my grandson to feel loved even before birth. I gulped at what she said. Why is she trying to impose that I have a son? We are yet to determine the gender of the baby, Mom. Upon saying those words, I chuckled, not to sound rude at all. But I saw how she raised her eyebrows and I felt nervous instantly. She let go of my hand and leaned back in her seat. All the while, she was staring strictly at me. I am very confident that the baby is a boy. She smiled in a very intimidating way. I can feel my heart beating so fast. And no matter what, it must be a boy. Do you understand? Can you promise me that? Is she being serious? I am not some kind of a god to just magically and supernaturally decide for the baby's gender. It is beyond my control. I am the child's mother, but whatever happens, I will accept them despite their sex. I repeat, do you understand? Her tone changed with every word that she said. She leaned forward and grabbed my hand again. She squeezed it hard, and it made me slightly whimper in pain. A boy, all right? At that moment, I feel unsafe around her. I thought she was genuinely kind to me, but no. Behind all of it was someone evil. I nodded in response to her. She let go of my hand once again and smiled at me. The same smile she gave me earlier. Good. Now let's wait for the lemon cake. You will love it." She chuckled. "What's wrong with her?" The next day, my husband brought me to the stable. He was very excited to show me his horses. "Come on, my love, I'll show you my horses." He guided me along the cubicles and introduced me to 3 horses. "These are my horses. The white one was given to me by my father. The brown one is from my uncle, and the black one is my first ever horse. It's from my grandfather and used to be my dad's. This horse is an heirloom, being passed down to the eldest male of the generation. He is currently in his 3rd generation with me, and I'm very excited to introduce him to the 4th generation with my son." He looked at me and my belly as he said the last line. He moved towards me and held my baby bump. "My love, I cannot wait to spend this lifetime with you and our son." "Here we go again." "Or daughter." He shook his head and kissed on my forehead. "No, love. I'm confident that we are going to have a baby boy." I just heaved a sigh and just let him be. Why are they insisting that my baby should be a boy? Is this a golden rule in this family? Later the day, I went to the kitchens and tried to help the maids. But they were all shocked by my gesture. "Madam, you don't have to help us. This is our job." I can sense the concern in her tone, as if touching cooking utensils is a sin for me. "It is fine. I am not used to sitting all day, and I want to help. I enjoy cooking a lot, so allow me." "But you are not allowed to be seen with us." Why?" "Because you are the wife of Sir Will. You are going to be the next lady of the ranch, and this is not your place. The kitchen is too low for you, madame." I frowned at what they said. Low? Who said that? Who labeled the kitchen as a lowly place? There is no such thing as low. The kitchen is the most essential part of the house. No one can stop me if I want to be there. I can feel the frustration in their eyes. "We appreciate your help, madam, but it would help if you went back to the living room. We have been here for years and are constantly reminded we are nothing but workers and lower than the whole lot of you." I am not like them. I heaved a sigh and reassured them. "Don't worry, I will become the lady of this house soon, and I promise you, you will be treated equally." I smiled at them and they smiled back at me. I could sense that my words have lifted an intense heaviness in their heart. "Thank you so much for your kindness, madame." But before I headed out, I tried to ask them a question. "You said you guys had been here for years. Perhaps you may know why the family is so eager to have a baby boy." One maid dropped a spoon while she was washing it. She immediately picked it up nervously. I also saw them clashing their elbows as if they were pushing each other to answer my question, until one was brave enough to do it. "The family will only pass their wealth to the eldest male descendant, and it is considered a bad omen for this family to have the eldest female." I gulped. I could feel my anxiety driving my system. What? Why is it considered a bad omen? "Sir Edward, Sir Will's father, and your father-in-law have an older sister, Madame Olivia. She is the eldest child, and the family's riches are supposed to be passed down to her. But because she is a girl, it was given to Sir Edward. And they said that the family business was slowly deteriorating ever since she was born, and it only became stable again when Sir Edward was born. That's why the family expects to have a male heir again to further prove and sustain the family's wealth and legacy." What happened to Olivia?" "She died 5 years ago." I thanked them for what they said and immediately went to our room. I could feel the pressure on my shoulders. Now I know why they're so eager to have a boy. But what if I cannot? Will this family suffer because of me? I'm scared. 6 months have passed and I am currently in labor. My in-laws are all anticipating the birth of my child. And because of deep anxiety, I preferred not to know the baby's gender because I did not want it to affect my mental health. That could also be a potential health hazard to the baby in my belly. After hours of labor, I finally delivered my baby. My baby, is it a boy? The nurse was about to give me my child when my husband insisted on holding them first. His mood changed as soon as he looked at the baby. It's a girl. He looked at me with complete disappointment. The nurse, including my doctor, clapped their hands and congratulated me. Congratulations, Mr. and Mrs. Parkson. You have a healthy baby girl. My husband gave me our daughter and walked out of the room. This is certainly not okay. I can feel my heart breaking. Months have gone by and I am living the opposite life. This is very different from what I experienced before I gave birth to my daughter Ariel. Now I live with insults, disgusts, and dismay from my husband's family daily. I can tolerate their mistreatment toward me, but it is so low they mistreat even my daughter. And it breaks my heart to see her grow up in this environment. Also, we were treated as an outcast during family gatherings. On top of that, my husband is mistreating me as well. His family branded me as unfortunate because I couldn't deliver a son. Is it my fault? One day, my husband came home in a bad mood. And that time, Ariel was having a tantrum. She has been crying for almost 2 hours already. I have been carrying her for 2 hours as well. And I know how much her cry irritates and annoys Will. Can you make that baby shut the fuck up? He kicked the table that was full of Ariel's things, including her essentials and food. Our baby was shocked by the loud noise, so she cried even louder. Will could not contain the noise anymore, and he pushed me and Ariel as well. We stumbled on the floor, and luckily I was able to protect Ariel from the floor. But I got bruises on my knees and a big cut on my elbow from the intense fall. Ariel kept on crying. He did not even bother to help us. The two of you are useless. The curse is true. Ever since that child was born, the company has been going downhill. I am so unlucky with you. He pushed the nearest table his hand could reach, and the things on it scattered to the floor. The impact made my child cry even more. Please, Will, stop this already. This will only stop once you give me a son. He went out of the room and slammed the door hard. The two of us were left there, crying. My daughter does not deserve this. The news of my father-in-law being unwell came to me. He's suffering from a stroke and is in a critical condition. One of his dying wishes is to see his grandchild. So the next day, my mother-in-law came to visit me and my daughter. I prepared myself for the insult and disrespectful words she will say to me. As she entered the house, Ariel played in the living room, crawling while sucking on her pacifier. Oh, please, get this girl out of my way. My mother-in-law shouted as if an animal was blocking her way. I quickly picked Ariel up and carried her. The sight of her irritates me. It ruins my day. I cannot fathom enough how unfortunate this generation is for having an eldest female leading them. I just kept silent. Her misogynistic words towards my daughter shattered my heart. We are going to the hospital. Hurry and prepare yourself. As much as I do not want my husband to know about your daughter, I have no choice. This is the last thing that I want him to know. And if ever the knowledge of you giving birth to a girl will worsen his situation, then I will blame you for everything. You are nothing but curse to this family. I will make your life miserable. I kept my head strong. I held my tears back and followed what she said. I prepared and went to the hospital together with my daughter. As soon as my father-in-law saw me, he smiled. "You're a beauty. Will is fortunate to have you." I can feel the tears forming in my eyes as I realize that Will is not lucky to have me, and he made sure that I'm constantly reminded of that every day. And from my peripheral vision, I can see my mother-in-law rolling her eyes at me. He changed the moment I gave him a daughter. "Let me see my grandchild." I closed my eyes and gathered all my confidence. I opened it and picked Ariel up from the stroller. I gently gave him my daughter, and he carefully reached out to receive her. I can feel the nervousness from my hands down to my feet. He wept as soon as he saw Ariel's face and recognized that she was a girl. I was shocked by his reaction. I was expecting him to be mad and disown the child, but he cried and hugged her so tight. "Dear, what are you doing?" My mother-in-law is so confused. "Stop doing that, it's a girl. You know how the eldest female can bring bad luck to this family. You don't want that to affect your health, do you?" Finally, a girl. She looks exactly like my older sister, Liv. My mother-in-law started to panic and tried her best to make my father-in-law let go of my daughter. "What are you doing?" "Let go of that child, she's a curse." Are you listening to yourself? You're talking nonsense. This is my grandchild, your grandchild as well. Whether you like it or not, she will inherit the family's wealth, including the ranch. And I'm doing this in honor of my late sister Olivia, and this is my dying wish. You're the one talking nonsense here. Enough of your evilness, Clarissa. I'm very much aware of your wickedness to Andrea and her child, and I will not let it slide this time. He instructed his legal advisor, who was with her inside the room, while clinging to my daughter, who was sleeping tight in his arms. He told his lawyer to transfer all of his riches to Ariel alone. My mother-in-law was so shocked, but there was nothing else she could do because my father-in-law immediately signed the papers and made it legal to the law that Ariel was his heir, skipping over my husband, his son, and Ariel's father, Will. I cried out in disbelief. The lawyer told me that Clarissa and Will were stripped of any titles and claims to their inheritance, which is currently owned by Ariel. My mother-in-law cried for mercy. Please forgive me as well as Will. I did not raise that boy to be an abusive husband and father. I lost faith in him as I lost mine in you. You are free to do whatever you want now, and I'm free to find my rest because I'm content to know that the family is in good hands with my granddaughter. Afterwards, my husband came to the room and was already notified about his father's decision. He kneeled immediately and asked for forgiveness. But instead of forgiveness, my father-in-law turned the tables and made Will pay $20 million compensation for what he did to Ariel and me. The same goes for Clarissa, my mother-in-law. On that day, both of them learned the hard way, and from then on, the Parkson family progressed from their traditional thinking and practice of passing down a family inheritance. It is true that in humility, there is a reward.